Live, getting results. This is News 6 at noon.
And right now at noon, showers and thunderstorms roll through Central Florida this Friday. We're pinpointing where the rain is right now. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. I'm Bridget Ellison.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. It's been a wet morning across Central Florida. Let's take you outside and give you a live look over downtown Orlando. Not too shabby out there. We are still seeing some showers, though, in parts of Central Florida. Meteorologist Troy Bridges is pinpointing everything for us. And Troy, just because we're not seeing any showers right now doesn't mean that they won't pop up later.
So true, because we're waiting for the actual front, Justin. The front hasn't cleared Central Florida. Once we heat up with a little bit of sun breaking out, we can't rule out a few more of those pop-up showers as the actual front moves through. But we are getting a little bit of a break, just as predicted at 5 this morning. If you were tuned in with us, you can see a little bit of that rain has pushed into Polk County and Osceola County. We did over the past hour have some heavier downpours build into Orange County. Downtown Orlando, though, now drying out, although some of the roads are still wet from the rain that's pushed through. At this point, we're pinpointing some rain just north of Palm Coast and Flagler County and right on top of Merritt Island. A little bit of rain down to Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach. So a few of those showers. And then as we see a little bit of sun break out before the front, we'll see a chance for a few more of those showers as it actually moves through. How do we know the front hasn't cleared? We're watching the winds. The winds now near 20 miles per hour right on top of Orlando, sustained, gusting at times near 25 to 30 miles per hour, and they're coming in out of the southwest. Once we see the winds coming in out of the north, the drier air builds in behind the front. We've got to wait until the afternoon before that happens. So we'll talk more about a clearing sky as we head into the weekend. All of that in just a few minutes. Guys, back to you.
All right, Troy, thank you. And don't forget, you can get the latest weather alerts directly on your phone by downloading our free Pinpoint Weather app. Just search WKMG in your app store.
Breaking right now, a lockdown just lifted at several homes in Winter Garden. A SWAT situation there just ended. This is along Pennsylvania Avenue. We just saw the suspect taken into custody, but we're not sure yet why the SWAT team was responding there. So we will keep you posted here and on clickorlando.com.
Also breaking right now, the Sri Lankan military says that soldiers are in a gun battle with suspects linked to the Easter attacks in the country's eastern province. This is video from the aftermath of those attacks that left nearly 300 people dead. Officials say local militants with ties to the Islamic State group conducted a series of suicide bombings at churches and luxury hotels in and around Colombo. We will keep you updated on this throughout the day.
New at noon, a Lyft driver convicted of sexually attacking one of his riders is learning how much time he'll spend behind bars. The victim says she wants justice against this man and even spoke about the attack in court today. The driver was sentenced to 13 years in prison for the 2017 attack.
News 6's Mark Lehman was in court this morning and joins us now with the latest.
Today's sentencing comes more than a year and a half after David McNeil was convicted. The judge saying there were a lot of delays leading up to this. Now the sentence was finally handed down, and it comes after emotional testimony from the victim.
You destroyed my life and yours. And for what? Was it worth it for you?
A question directed at 62-year-old David McNeil, the woman he's convicted of raping, shedding tears as she faced her attacker.
You took a moment of weakness and used it to your advantage. That was just a moment because I am not weak.
That moment happening in March of 2017. McNeil, a driver for Lyft, took the woman home after a night of drinking. Neighbors then calling 911 after they saw him taking advantage of her in the back seat.
Stated at the scene that he was trying to assist her, but at no time did anything inappropriate, improper, or unlawful. Well, that proved not to be true based on science.
Police arresting McNeil months later after a DNA match, and today a judge sentenced him to 13 years in prison for a crime that carried a maximum of 30 years behind bars.
I'm going to live a happy, long, fulfilling life while you're behind bars. And I hope you think of that for the rest of your life.
In Orlando, Mark Lehman, Getting Results, News 6.
And now new details at noon. Troopers say a crash through a guardrail killed a 14-year-old boy. This is video from the crash along State Road 417. Troopers said the teen from New York died in the two-vehicle crash near Moss Park Road. Both vehicles traveled over the guardrail, and the boy, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was thrown from the car, according to troopers. Charges are pending against the other driver.
New this hour, a person was killed after being hit by a train. Officials in Brevard County say the crash happened on the tracks along the Indian River close to East JJ Road in North Titusville. There's no word yet on why the person was walking along the tracks. Developing at noon, a man accused of taking off his license plate before committing a lewd act in front of a teen has been arrested.
And deputies say the arrest came 2 months after the crime. News 6's Ezzy Castro tells us what happened in court today for the man's first appearance before a judge.
An Orange County judge ordered no bond for Wilfredo Nazario after deputies say he exposed himself in front of 2 young girls yesterday. He was also wanted for a similar crime just a few months ago.
The defendant should be held at no bond, that he should have no contact with any minor children.
35-year-old Wilfredo Nazario appearing before an Orange County judge this morning. Deputies arrested Nazario yesterday after deputies got a call about a lewd act outside a mobile home park on West Oak Ridge Road. According to the arrest report, Nazario pulled up in a red car and touched himself in front of a 12 and 13-year-old. The 2 girls were waiting for the bus in the morning.
Based on the nature of the offense, how this was committed, that there were it was a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old girl that this happened in front of, that he was driving a vehicle in a neighborhood.
Nazario is accused of committing a lewd act in front of a 13-year-old girl back in February. Investigators say she was walking to Union Park Middle School when it happened. Deputies have been looking for him ever since after they say he was caught on camera removing the license plate off his car.
Sir, do you want me to appoint a lawyer for you?
Yes.
And it's not clear where deputies arrested Nazario yesterday, but he is also charged with possession of controlled substance and introduced contraband. Outside the Orange County Courthouse, Ezzy Castro, Getting Results, News 6.
And breaking at noon, a takedown outside of Winn-Dixie landed a wanted fugitive in jail. Officers in Daytona Beach Shores say they were alerted about a convicted felon spotted at Winn-Dixie off A1A. William Klein Jr., who goes by Christopher Michael Parker, fled officers in a car in the parking lot. We're told he put the car in reverse and crashed into a sergeant's unmarked car and a detective's unmarked car. He hit 3 more cars trying to get away. In all of this, police say an officer's gun accidentally went off, but no one was hurt. We're told he has a parole violation for armed burglary along with other charges. Now to some big news in our push to drive change. Florida could soon have a stricter texting and driving law.
Yesterday, the state Senate passed an amended version of a distracted driving bill. Anchor Kirsten O'Connor joins us now live in studio. So, Kirsten, the proposal includes some changes.
That's to be expected, Justin and Bridget. The Senate decided to strengthen the House's version of the bill, and they added a provision that would make it illegal for drivers to have a phone in their hand while driving in school and construction zones. This means officers can pull you over if you're texting behind the wheel.
It affects every Floridian and resident and tourist that comes to the state of Florida. I think it's time that we focus on saving lives and make safety a priority.
The amended bill now goes back to the House for a vote, and if it passes, the governor will have to sign it into law. Until that happens, we will keep pressing, and you can help us get results and make your voice heard. Head over to clickorlando.com to find out how to contact your state representatives by going to this special section of our website. You will also find a detailed timeline of the work we've done to get to this point. Look for Driving Change. Justin?
All right, Kirsten, thank you. Now to a big step forward for injured UCF quarterback McKenzie Milton. He is now walking on his own without the use of crutches. UCF football shared this video of Milton with the caption, "One step at a time." You can see he still has that brace on his right leg, but he is now getting around without those crutches. Now, Milton's season was cut short last year after he dislocated his knee during a game against USF. He spent weeks in the hospital, underwent 5 surgeries, and when I sat down with Milton last month, he told me confidently that he plans to play again. Can't wait to see it. Next at noon, 100,000 bikers roaring into Lake County.
What to expect from the annual Bike Fest out in Leesburg. Plus, lawyers work to get evidence tossed today in the case against New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft.
And measles outbreaks across the country. How a South Florida rabbi is adopting a strict new policy to keep people safe. You're watching News 6 at noon, Getting Results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
Welcome back. Hundreds of students and staff members at 2 Los Angeles universities are under quarantine after possibly being exposed to measles from a contagious student.
Yeah, and this is happening across the country. And now one rabbi in South Florida says if you aren't vaccinated, you aren't welcome. Maxine Bensel has the details.
They're not welcome.
It's not a message you'd expect to hear from any religious leader.
You're entitled to make your decision, but you can't impose your decision on us in a way that becomes dangerous or compromises for ourselves and our children.
But Rabbi Goldberg's message is clear. If you or your children are not vaccinated against measles, stay away from the Boca Raton Synagogue.
People want to be able to bring their children, some of them newborns and infants and adolescents who have not received all their vaccinations. They want to participate in our youth programs and in the synagogue activities. And if there are those who are electing not to vaccinate, who might be a conduit for the illness, then people will be afraid they're not going to bring their children. That's not good for community.
Rabbi Goldberg says the decision is what's best for everyone. But not everyone is on board with the new policy adopted by the synagogue and several surrounding Jewish day schools.
One of the conclusions I've come to is that people are very entrenched in their positions, and it's very difficult to change their mind.
The rabbi wants to make clear the decision not to vaccinate is not rooted in Judaism.
We believe that Jewish law has traditionally always told us, in the past, the present, and for the future, that we follow the consensus of medicine, of doctors, of those who are the authority for keeping us well, safe, and secure.
But it's that message he believes is getting lost as the stigma surrounding Jewish people and anti-vaccination grows.
It's very sad as a Jewish leader that people are associating the Jewish community with not taking this seriously. It's very sad, it's very painful to me.
And this is the largest measles outbreak in the U.S. since it was declared eliminated in 2000. You can read more about its resurgence on clickorlando.com/health right now.
Right now, lawyers for New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft are back in a Florida courtroom asking a judge to throw out video recordings that allegedly show him paying for sex at a day spa. Police say they recorded him on 2 different occasions back in January, but Kraft's attorneys argue police violated his constitutional rights when they installed those cameras at a massage parlor in Jupiter. They claim it was an invasion of privacy and that the search warrant to install the cameras was illegally obtained. Early this week, a judge ruled to seal the video until the start of Kraft's trial. 25 other men were also charged with paying for sex acts at that spa. Kraft has pleaded not guilty.
More than 100,000 bikers will be roaring through Leesburg today as Bike Fest this weekend. This is video from last year. Along with the motorcycles, hundreds of vendors are out there and dozens of concerts are on the schedule. Bike Fest runs through Sunday. And you know what? Once we get this rain out of here,
yes,
it's going to be a really nice weekend. Here's a look at downtown Orlando and partly cloudy skies, some pop-up showers still coming through, Troy.
That's right. We've still got to wait for the actual front. Now, we've seen some rain ahead of the front, but once it begins to push in, there is the chance for a few pop-up showers. Always watch out for those bikers, and if you're getting on a motorcycle today, there will be a lot of slick spots on the roads from the rain we had earlier. Let's get you out there and show you what we're pinpointing with the satellite and radar. You can see all this moisture streaming in from the Gulf of Mexico. We will see a little bit more of this, mainly in our southern zones, but as we head into the afternoon and begin to heat up an unstable atmosphere, we could see a few more pop-up showers along the actual front. So still some more rain in the forecast, but it does look like some of the heaviest has pushed out, which is some good news. And tomorrow looking much better for the Leesburg Bike Fest and all the other stuff you've got going on. There's the radar, and you see over the past couple of hours, we've been pinpointing some heavy downpours for Orlando down to Kissimmee, back into Polk County, and then back over into Osceola and Brevard counties. Right now, we're still pinpointing a few very light showers on top of Orange County. There's Hunters Creek, Lake Buena Vista, on up to downtown Orlando, even East Orange County near Bithlo, a sprinkle or 2. But we are seeing some breaks in those clouds. We did have some heavier downpours there north into Flagler County, there for Palm Coast. Even Flagler Beach had a couple of those showers, but they've now pushed out to sea. You see a little bit of green here. That's some light rain on top of Port St. John near Merritt Island, Cape Canaveral, and south of there to Cocoa Beach. Some of this is the radar picking up on the moisture in the atmosphere. And then as we head into the afternoon, once the front actually comes in, we'll see a chance for a few more showers. We still see those winds coming in out of the southwest. working in plenty of warm, humid air. Once the winds turn and come in out of the north, they'll bring in more dry, stable air. So right now it's pretty windy across central Florida with winds between 15 to 20 miles per hour sustained and then gusting a little greater than that. So a pretty windy afternoon that will continue. We're at 80 degrees now in Sanford, 75 in Ocala, 80 in Melbourne, and 81 in Daytona Beach. But here's a look at the Pinpoint Accurate Forecast.
Your forecast brought to you by Del Air Heating and Air Conditioning.
So a mix of sun and clouds as we heat up the atmosphere a little bit later on. A few of those showers, even a couple of thunder showers possible, and 84 will be the afternoon high temperature. Then after 8 o'clock, we push all that rain out of here for the most part with only a 10% chance for a couple of showers. So go ahead with those evening plans. We're at 76 by 8 o'clock. By 11, we're at 71 degrees. So here's the clouds and rain forecast. We take you through the afternoon hours. And again, notice a few more of those pop-up showers along the actual front through 3 this afternoon, then ongoing through around 5 o'clock. We'll still see a chance as we begin to dry out in our far western zones, Lake Sumter and Marion. But by 8 tonight, we're all drying out and looking gorgeous into the weekend. Who's excited about that? Early morning temperatures tomorrow, a little cool in our northern zones as that front moves through. 52 in Ocala, 55 in the Villages, 62 in Orlando, 60 at Daytona Beach. But let's get results and show you that 7-day forecast. As we do, we're going to take you on into the weekend, and we're dry both weekend days, a high of 85 on Saturday, 89 on Sunday, and no big rain chances all next week. Guys, back to you.
Perfect chap weather this weekend, Troy. Thank you. And don't forget, you can get the latest weather alerts directly on your phone. Just download our free Pinpoint Weather app. All you have to do is search WKMG in your app store. Next at noon, it is going to be a busy weekend at movie theaters across the country.
Oh yes, Avengers Endgame is now a record-breaking blockbuster, and it just came out. What fans are saying about seeing the movie during last night's premiere.
And coming up, all new at 5.
Hi, I'm Mike Holfeld. Coming up at 5, listen to this. A single mom goes shopping at Walmart, pays for the items, goes outside, and the police are waiting for her.
You are hereby ordered to leave the above described premises immediately.
Management said she was shoplifting, but did they get it right?
I do not shoplift.
You decide tonight at 5.
Nice, man.
Well, it is a busy weekend for movie theaters as a record-breaking blockbuster hits the big screen.
Yeah, Avengers Endgame is out, and before you change the channel, if you have plans to see it, we're not going to be talking about any spoilers here, okay? So crowds of Marvel fans at local theaters we checked out, including the AMC in Altamont Springs, have already gotten to see it. Some people in the newsroom also got to see it. They're not alone. The film has pulled in more than $300 million just in the first couple of days and could approach $1 billion for the opening weekend. Fans telling us the hype is real.
It's an experience.
It's the best movie ever in the entire world.
Everybody there was a fan since, yay high. It's been an 11-year legacy, and now it's all coming to an end.
Dozens of AMC theaters are staying open around the clock this weekend. The company says pre-sale numbers were the highest in its 99-year history. Wow.
3 hours.
3 hours, yeah, so plan out your bathroom
Don't
breaks.
get the big drink.
No, definitely not. Coming up next at noon, a kitten rescue causes some confusion at a fire station.
Someone dropped off this little kitty claiming it was a baby cheetah. What they realized about this tiny cutie after a quick Google search. Well, before we go, you could call this a case of kitten confusion at an Orlando fire station. That little tiny kitten was dropped off at Station 7 by a man who said he had a baby cheetah. Well, it turns out, yeah, those aren't native to Florida, but it turned out to be a wildcat.
Oh.
Yeah, a bobcat.
Really?
Firefighters started Googling and realized that they had a little baby bobcat on their hands. And the Back to Nature Wildlife Refuge confirmed it for them, and it's now being taken care of there.
Yeah, you can tell that's not a cheetah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it happened in Florida, and you know the stigma that we
Look at this
carry.
cheetah. That's not a cheetah. Anyway.
Stay dry. We're back at 4.
Have a great weekend. See you.